guys, TalkNorwichCity here, back for another podcast. And as you can see, we're in a different location. It's not because Chris has been evicted from his flat. I don't think so, anyway.
Not just yet. I've had a few mad parties, but...
we won't talk about them.
No.
We won't talk about them. We're at Gravity Trampoline Park here in the heart of Norwich on Riverside. Kindly sponsored by them this season. One of the 5 great companies we've got on board. So we thought, why not come down, test out our audio levels?
Yeah.
And
let's do
film
it
it here.
And what's the venue? You can see behind us.
Yeah.
Rock climbing now.
We've trampoline park and the rock climbing park.
Like rock climbing, I don't know what's going on here. We've got some kind of ice scene, some kind of disco scene. Loving it.
All good.
What
Also,
a venue.
Apparently, I didn't know this before, they've got some kind of partnership with Pizza Hut. And we've got pizzas.
Oh, we've got free pizza. That's amazing. And free coffee. Shout out to Gravity.
Also, I do just want to say, down here at Gravity, on a match day,
yeah.
if you bring your season ticket or your match ticket or your priority membership pass, you get 20% off everything. Food,
20%?
drink.
It's normally like 5 or 10%, isn't it?
It's 20%.
20%. There you
so
go.
Get down here, people. Anyway, that is enough of the plugs. Sunderland.
Oh.
It was disappointing, wasn't it? I'm going to tuck into some pizza.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Norwich fans had built up... it's okay. It's good. It's the first home game of the season. We built up such a positive, optimistic oomph about us. The march, walk, jump, skip, song, whatever it was to the ground, that almost just poured petrol on the fire. And I think people came with some very, very high expectations, and rightly so. I do think that in terms of the football we played, those expectations were met, but we got hit with a sucker punch. And, sometimes I think especially this early on, during the philosophy of settling in and all of that, Jack, when we get hit with a sucker punch, I don't think as yet we've got the mental capacity as a team to go, oh, let's fucking do it then. Let's get straight back in there. I don't think we've just got that bite yet.
I mean, we've come from behind at Fulham this season, and that was a very impressive performance. But Sunderland posed a completely different threat, didn't they? Fulham were happy to have a lot of the ball, and almost we kind of sat back at times and soaked up the pressure.
This pizza,
Mate,
I'm so sorry. I've got to get into this pizza. Oh, yes.
You love a thin crust as well, don't you?
I do love a thin crust. I'm a bit of a pizza snob. Anyway, continue.
In terms, you said that the football at times was decent. I agree with you. I think the first 30 minutes... we kept the ball very well, but we didn't do anything with the ball. It's all well and good having 70% possession, which we did have in the first half, but we still lost the game. How do we go about using that ball better going forwards? I
really think that going forwards, once we've sorted out our shape, and let's not forget, Jack, that we both said at the weekend, that was a bit of a makeshift midfield. So, look, I'm very, very confident if we play a bit better than the way we did against Sunderland, with the right team, not Naismith in centre midfield for starters, not Jerome starting. I'm sorry, Jerome, but I think Nelson's got to start. He's got to start on Wednesday night. I think those things will mean we will win. I really don't think it's anything to worry about.
I'm just going to interject here with another plug.
Yep.
I've completely forgot. This football that you can see here is signed by the current Norwich City squad. You can win. All you've got to do is head over to Gravity's Facebook page. Links in the description.
The current squad?
The current squad.
Oh, I'm having it then.
No, it's Chris, we've got to give it away. Have you liked the Facebook status yet?
Oh, no, I like it, Jack. I like it.
You might win. Who knows? It's not going to be a fix, though. Chris isn't going to win it. Links in the description. Follow the instructions and you might win yourself a signed Norwich City football. Anyway, are we being a little bit harsh here? Because Sunderland, I thought, were very good.
Sunderland came with a game plan. They executed it very well. They didn't park the bus. They were very, very clinical, Jack. And for me, McGeady was brilliant. It's not often that I will, as I put it, rim the opposition, but I have to say McGeady was very, very good. He looked Premier League quality. I still haven't checked, so forgive me, but I'm pretty sure he got 2 assists as well as the goal, or at least he played an influential part in all of their goals. He just looked like everything that he touched turned to gold that day. He had his best day, and we went on a form.
As well as that, we talk about our lack of midfield. Their midfield of Lee Catamole and Dong was brilliant. I thought in Dong, the number 17, I finally found out his name today.
What name?
He was unbelievable. He was everywhere. And it's almost like if we would have had that imposing midfield that they did, maybe would have got something out of it.
Yeah, I mean, as I've said already, Jack, I don't think Naismith should have been where he was. I'm not saying he shouldn't have played. I'm just saying that he wasn't effective in that role. I'm going to put it out there. I personally think Tete would have done a better job there. I personally think even an unfit Wes would have done a better job when Naismith was, because he's used to it. So, for me, Naismith came as a striker. We signed him as a striker. We're now trying to just squeeze him into roles just to do it. And, you know that I'm not a massive fan of Naismith, but I've said it on many times and I'll say it again. I want to give him a new chance this season. I do think he'll do well, but not in centre midfield, Jack.
It's an interesting situation because obviously we've brought in Harrison Reed, who for me has probably been our best signing so far. I think he's been excellent in every game.
Okay.
And he's kind of that almost a midfield sweeper. He just kind of sits in front of the defence. He's not fussed about going forwards, which does allow you to play
I love his
energy.
He looks so comfortable on the ball. He induces a bit of oomph, doesn't he? And that's what you want to see.
And that does allow you to play a slightly less physical and slightly more creative midfield. But you do just think that you need to either drop Naismith out of there because Maddison is an influential part of this team, and you either bring in Vrancic, who we saw against Fulham, or an Alexander Tete, who, look, I'm not his biggest fan, but he can still do a job.
I think you've touched on it very well, Jack. I think, Farker, I loved what he said about Maddison. I absolutely love him, but I don't want to compliment him too much. And I think that speaks huge volumes. He's the exact type of player that Farker wants in this side. I think Norwich fans are they're afraid to admit that Maddison is an absolute baller. And, I will say, I hate to say I told you so, I said we shouldn't have sent him out on loan. I do think he could have done a job last season for us. The way he moves his body, the way he shapes his body to protect the ball. Yeah, totally. And if you're going to say someone's got to replace Wes at the football club, and that's the other thing that Michael Bailey put in his article today, we've got to be worried. When Wes retires, we can't continue to rely on Wes. And I finally, as a Norwich fan now, feel comfortable that Maddison can do that. Yeah. Let's stop pretending Maddison's a sub. He is an influential player for this team, and I think he did impress me at the weekend. He did. Against a very, very physical side. You would have written him off.
I want to touch on the defence in a minute, but let's stick with the kind of attacking presence at the moment. Once again, Nelson starting on the bench.
Mm-hmm. Acceptable.
Yeah, do you think that was more because of the disciplinary action he saw in the week?
Totally, definitely. And I think it would have probably upset... it would have upset Cam. I know it's not all about keeping players happy, but actually, in some respects, I think Farker's already shown some very, very mature man management, and I think he's played the Nelson Oliveira situation fantastically well, and I think Nelson will start midweek against QPR, and the fans will love it.
Now let's move back to the defence. I think it was questionable at the best of times at the weekend. Zimmerman and Franke have been rated very highly by the Norwich fans, and probably rightly so, early doors, but aerially we lost out on a lot of occasions. There were a lot of stats that didn't make for pretty reading in terms of aerial duels. I think actually Russell Martin was our best player in the air in that first half and also the second half. Zimmerman and Franke, there's work to be done there, isn't there?
Look, it's just time with those two. Those two could be a fantastic partnership. And not just those two, let's not forget we've got Tim Close to come back, right? And I'm not going to write off Timmy. I do still think he's got a point to prove. I do still think he needs to prove that he wants to be here. But on his day, he's unbeatable. So you could well see Zimmerman with Tim. You could well see Frank with Tim. So there's all these options. I thought Russ had an all right game at the weekend. His experience we desperately needed. But for me and for you, I think, Jack, Husband was the weak link. Husband
really disappointed me at the weekend. I think defensively lost his man for the third goal.
Harsh. He disappointed you? Is that harsh?
No, I don't think it is.
He said one home game.
I'm saying he disappointed me at the weekend. I'm not saying I'm writing him off. I think he's got something to prove, and I think he's a very different player to left backs we've seen in previous years. Let's not forget our last two left backs have been Mitchell Dykes and Martin Olsen, two very attacking minded players.
They bombed on, yeah.
Husband, I'm not sure if he doesn't want to or he doesn't have the ability to, but he got in a lot of positions against Sunderland where he could have taken his man on and created a crossing opportunity. And when you play them wing backs, Wildschut in the first half, perfect example. Every time he got in that area, he took his man on. Husband didn't.
And I have
that was disappointing for me.
Wilshere as well, by the way.
I'm just going to put this ball down there. You can win this, by the way. I think it's just blocking your head off slightly.
Is it really?
I think it was
blocking
like
head. Okay.
I think it was like this. The bottom half of your face is.
People would probably prefer that anyway, don't they?
Possibly.
Wilshere was good.
Mate,
he's very good.
He's a top player.
And I think he's one of those players where, with time, he could be our secret weapon. And you know what? What a great time for Pritchard to be injured for him. Because he needs Pritchard to be injured.
Yeah.
Because I think when Pritchard comes back, we're going to tear teams apart. We really are. But I'm just saying, well done, Jack. You're right. Because Wilshere was very, very good at the weekend.
Yeah, he was. He's direct. He's very much a confidence player. I think he was riding high on confidence. I think Murphy done very well when he came on as well.
He did.
Look, lots of people. I can sympathise with the fact that people were annoyed with the performance at the weekend because there was so much hype and it was disappointing. But stick with it. I saw a lot of positives.
Get over it.
Yeah.
It's one game. Get over it.
Let's move on. QPR. This Wednesday. Strange night. I'm missing 5-a-side for this. Better be good. QPR have gone unbeaten so far. They beat...
they had a good end to last season as well, didn't they?
Got pumped by us. But they've started the season well. They've made some astute signings. I think they've only made 2. But beat Reading 2-0 on the opening day. Drew away at Sheffield Wednesday. They're coming here in good form.
I tell you what, they're good results for them.
Very
they
good.
are.
They've got us and then Hull, so it's a tough start.
They still got Ian Holloway as the gaffer. Now, look, I know I said we beat Sunderland. I just can't see QPR turning us over. I really can't. We've got to get a result. I really do think we've got to get a result. We don't have to, but I think
it would be very nice.
I think we've got to. I just think the atmosphere under the lights for the first time this season, Jack. And also I think it's a great time for you to plug the Barclay End project.
So the march that was on. I don't like calling it a march, but it was a march. A march sounds very army-like.
I had a lot of people going, it looked like that was awful, that march. It looked like a mob. I'm embarrassed. I'm mortified. And by the way, we still didn't win. Well, yes, all right, we didn't win, but we're making some positive movements. We're trying to get some atmosphere back into the club. And as a slightly younger supporter, but with the Worthington era behind me as well, I can say that yesterday you could feel the difference, and we've not had that in many, many years since the Lambert era. Where, and I do agree to a point with the people that for some reason don't want us to create a more positive atmosphere, where they say, well, actually, it's results based, and arguably under Paul Lambert it was results based, but because of the optimism and positivity, the Norwich fans kept the team going. We backed the team up, and that's what we're trying to do this year, and I think it will carry on.
Look, there is literally nothing negative that can come out of trying to create an atmosphere, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, for some reason people think that that's not the case, but...
Look, anyway, if you're in the Barclay, lower tier, get in the concourse, about 7:15, we're going to try and create a really good atmosphere in there, take it up to the stands, and hopefully that helps us out.
And I think it's time for me and Jack to gloat. Do you know why, Jack?
No, I don't.
Because the Christoph Zimmerman chant that Craig Killett sent to me, that we promoted, is now a chant. It's caught on and people are enjoying it. You said it's a bit hard for people. It's quite intense. But I quite like the fact that in between quite long, lengthy chants, you can just quickly pop out
a quick burst.
Christoph Zimmerman.
Now, I think you were the first person to sing it, but... If you remember Matty, who we interviewed, it was the first interview, Matty Brown.
Yes, yep.
He went to Budapest on a lad's holiday about 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
And he claims that he was singing it around Budapest on nights out before you.
4 weeks ago, we'd already started it.
Maybe it was 5 weeks ago, I don't know.
Matty's got his dates wrong.
Has he?
Matty, you've got your dates wrong.
It's a great chant. But I was speaking to...
Sorry, Angus Gunn chant.
That is a great chant as well.
Love the Angus Gunn chant.
I know we copied it a bit off West Ham, but we've changed it.
And I know he's my buddy anyway. Plug. But you know, he did favourite my tweet about his chant, which says he enjoys it. Yeah. I mean, I just, you know, the Gunn family in general, They're led. Obviously, Brian Gunn is a legend for Norwich City Football Club. For you young supporters that don't know how much of a legend he is, for example, if you get your Christmas top trumps, go to the Brian Gunn card, and you will realise how much of a legend he is.
Do you reckon that's his biggest achievement?
Their family, they're so well connected and affiliated with the community in Norfolk that it just makes the Angus Gunn. And by the way, I'm gutted for him on his debut. Obviously, conceding.
Home debut.
Yeah, on his home debut.
But once again, it was more goals.
Sold him short though.
Yeah,
he couldn't have done anything about them. That's the frustrating thing.
And although he couldn't have done anything about them, conceding 6 goals in 3 games couldn't have been the start that he really wanted, could it?
I don't think so, Jack. But again, time. In my personal opinion, I'm not willing to give the whole season for this to work. I'm not. But I am willing to give it half a season to work. I am.
So in
terms of individual player performances, you can't expect all individual player performances to just smash it. Let's not forget, this is Angus Gunn's first senior season. Yes, he's ready. And by the way, he fills the goal well, doesn't he? He's a unit, isn't he? And he's commanding. And what I love about Angus as well, coffee and pizza, that's what it does to you. I love the fact that I don't love it when we concede, but when we concede, the first thing he does is, rather than John Ruddy, who just went, we conceded, Angus gets up straight away, picks the ball up, gets it to centre half, gets it to the centre circle, and then shouts at the player that made the mistake and makes them know what they did wrong. And one of the things that John lacked in his game, in my opinion, not being within the GK Union too much, goalkeepers have got to have a presence about them. They've got to have an aura and they've got to be commanding.
He had that and then he lost it.
Yeah. See, Angus has got that and he's had it from a very young age. He's already organising the defence. They seem very well connected with him. I think it's going to work.
Yeah, you might have already seen it. I'm not sure if I've uploaded it yet, but I was speaking to James Olcott from Ball Street, who's a big QPR fan. He was saying, despite them starting the season so well, they've had the same fixture schedule as us, but they're basically using their 2 forwards, so Jamie Mackie and Connor Washington, as the 2 players who press.
Weren't we linked with both of those ones?
Mate, Jamie Mackie in his day, I loved him.
Do you know the classic player we were linked with? Mikhail Smith.
Craig Mikhail Smith.
Mikhail Smith, God knows. If anyone knows where Craig Mikhail Smith is, put it in the comments.
He was basically saying that there is only so many games in a short span that Jamie Mackie and Connor Washington can go, let me just get my tactical nous in for a little bit. Yeah, I rate that. Before they basically just burn out. So he was saying, at the very best, he's expecting a draw, which says to me, we just have to win. And I don't want to say it, but if we
You're going to say it?
Yeah, I'm going to say it. If we do draw, or if we do lose, God forbid, there are going to be people not calling for the manager. We haven't got anyone that stupid, but are going to be getting twitchy. There might be a few. They're going to be getting twitchy.
Yeah.
And
we've got. I think
it's a big game.
But you know what? I think it's the responsibility of people that are putting out a Norwich City opinion to actually make positivity louder, make this optimism louder, because the negativity. You're more likely to put a negative comment online than a positive comment, right? So I think it's the responsibility of quite a few people to say, just be patient, guys, already.
I think that
calm down.
We're at fault for this as well, but people were saying, David, I know you said as well, people were booing, and people were booing. I'm not sure if that was at the players or if that was at the referee, but there was literally 10, 20 people booing.
It was loud enough to hear, mate, which is insane. It's a valid point from David.
It's a valid
and it's not
point.
often that I stick up for
But
David, my buddy.
Also 25,000 people getting behind the boys, and will continue to get behind the boys for this
Agreed.
season.
The fan thing is not an issue at all. The game at the weekend was good.
Talk of the devil. David Powell on the phone.
Should we get him on?
No, we'll leave it for now.
Okay. Bye, David. Sorry,
David, if you're watching. I did see the call. We're not ignoring you. We're just filming. So, you feeling confident for QPR?
Yeah, I am. I just think there's always been a special thing about Norwich City under the lights.
Yeah, it's always
nice. Has, and I think Nelson will start. I think he has to start, or at least I'm just doing this self-talk again because I just want it to happen. I'm feeling very confident. I think we'll learn our lessons quickly. I hope, I want them to. I think we'll do well, Jack.
Just don't want any explanation on this. Who would be the players you take out and put in?
Jerome for Nelson Oliveira. Naismith for either Tete or Wes.
Okay.
Depending on whether we want to go defensive or go forwards. And for me, does Pinto play on the same side as Husband?
No, Pinto's right.
Is he? I want Pinto back for presence. And I'm sorry, if that means taking out Russ...
Or Vilchkut.
Or, and I know that's unlucky on Vilchkut.
Or do we go for 4 at the back?
Yeah, okay.
But I think there's
the main
very
thing
damning
is
stat.
Nelson for Jerome, 100%.
I think there's a very damning stat that says the last time we won a football match or a league match when Pinto wasn't in the side was something like April last season.
Really?
So when Pinto's in the side, statistically we do better, and I can understand why.
It's pitch war yellow army. It's battle ready. That's what it is. He's the man.
So, hype of the week and moan of the week. It's been a little while. It's been a little while. You've been in New York.
Yeah,
How was that,
cool.
by the way?
Oh, amazing. If anyone gets the chance to go to New York, first of all, definitely go. And second of all, try and do as many things as possible, but remember to relax because it's just mentally intense. Anyway, that's enough about New York. Oh, I'll tell you what was good.
Right.
New York City versus
yes.
New York Red Bulls, the complete football match.
MLS has got everything, hasn't it?
Okay, yeah, because you went as well to see Orlando, wasn't it?
Orlando City.
Yeah, I mean...
the football was dreadful.
He was like, come on, New York.
The chants were
whoa,
dreadful.
Yeah, and one of them was, fuck the Red Bulls, fuck. It was great. It was such a bundle of laughs. Anyway, complete football match.
Fuck the Red Bulls. We weren't swearing. Fuck the Red Bulls.
Fuck the Red Bulls. Fuck her, the Red Bulls.
Fuck the... Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, local derby. David Villa scores his first hat-trick in the MLS. Penalty, red card. Atmosphere was brilliant. Flares, standing up, singing all game. A drum. I don't really have opinions on drums. I think they're a bit tin pot, but I'll accept it anyway. And then after the game, it was... I don't know if anyone saw my Instagram story at the time, but...
Oh, the subway?
So pretty much, no, not even in the subway. I was expecting all of these Yanks just to go, oh, well, that was kind of cool, and kind of go home, right? Afterwards, there was dancing in the street. It was basically like when we beat Ipswich and we go right up to the police barrier and go, scum, that kind of thing.
Of course we don't do that.
No. Well, sorry, we don't do that, obviously. We don't do that. So... Afterwards, there was a fight. There were so many people. They tried to get a fire engine to try to like slowly move through the crowd to disperse them because they were blocking the road, so no one could get through. But the fire engine kind of joined in and beeped its horn, and then the New York fans climbed on the back of the fire engine. There was flares. Honestly, it was brilliant. It was class. But one of the things that it made me realise is that having flags actually does help a little bit.
Yeah,
it really does. So,
and,
yeah. Anyway, enough about New York. What was the question?
Legalise pyro. Hype of the week.
Sorry, hype of the week. I'm gonna have to say it again. Madison. No.
Something different, Chris. Come on.
Mate, every time I feel like using something different, I just can't. He just delivers every week. Just as I think I'm going to choose a different hype of the week. I think for me this week he showed a real kind of maturity in his game. He pulled the ball back. A lot of people say he's too selfish, but he's got to protect the ball more. He really has. So for me, Madison, hype of the week, don't care.
Mine was
atmosphere. Come on.
Yeah, the atmosphere.
The walk to the ground. Surely
it was brilliant, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what Along Come Norwich and Barclay and Norwich can do this year, because and Norwich fans, but it's not just them, they do very well to organise it, but everyone has to buy into this, and I think if we do, then there's very exciting times ahead. In terms of moan of the week, what is it?
Do I have a moan of the week? The boos kind of annoyed me, but as you say, there were very few. There's idiots at every club, so we'll accept it. We'll move on. I think I'm disappointed that we lost the first game at home. I am disappointed about that. Disappointed about that.
Sorry, I just saw someone do like an epic backflip over your shoulder.
Well, that's what you do when you go to Gravity.
My moan of the week was Graben. He just played very well. And after everything, he did play very well.
He played well.
Yeah, he did.
Don't say he played very well.
He scored 2 goals against us. He won them the game.
Well, he scored 3 goals, didn't he?
He did score 3. I don't like Lewis Graben. for what he'd done at Norwich City, and I don't think he's the greatest striker. But look, credit where credit's due.
It's just so annoying. It's just so annoying, isn't it? Because it just stinks of bad attitude. Because if Sunderland had been losing...
To be fair to him, he did clap all the Norwich fans when he went off. I thought that was quite a nice touch.
Well, he needs to do that. I would expect a public apology from him. I would, wouldn't you?
Not now.
Two of the games, you I don't want to play. I'm going to run away. I'm going to go and hide in the hotel. I don't want to play against Rotherham in the cup. Tough luck, mate. You're a footballer.
Let's not forget, though, I think that game Ricky Van Wolfswinkel scored. So if it wasn't for Grab
Ricky Van Wolfswinkel. What a boy. Oh, did you see his horrendous miss?
No, I didn't.
Did you not?
I'm not surprised.
Oh my God, right.
Which
so
one?
Everyone who's seen it on here, let us know, because it was just hilarious. So basically, the ball comes across.
Where is he at? Oh, he's at
Basel, yeah.
Champions League.
Ball
Basel.
comes across the box. No one is there, and I'm talking about. Have you seen the Chris Alumo miss for Scotland? I don't know how to pronounce his name properly. It's as horrendous as that.
Right.
So the ball, I'd say, is maybe 4 yards away from the goal, and somehow he skies it. Somehow, and he sits there afterwards and does that cute little smile, and you go, "Oh, Ricky."
He is a beautiful man. Anyway, let's get into the Snapchat and Twitter questions now.
So many good questions tonight.
Some really great questions actually, and I
Creative
think it's almost
questions.
nice not just to have who shall we sign. And to be fair, when
Please
it is
don't ask
transfer
that question
window,
again.
who do you sign? That was the only thing going on. Anyway, I think we've had this question before, but I want to answer it again.
Mm-hmm.
James, James, thanks for your constant interaction, mate. If you could pick one player to go on an away day with, who would it be and why?
It depends on what terms. If you want, like, atmosphere, you've got to be...
Okay, so here's... Right, so you're driving. You are driving. Okay. So you're going to want someone who's fun but not too annoying. You get in there, and you obviously can't drink too much, but you want to go a bit mental.
Do you?
And then...
You know what? After what Russ said in the podcast about, going up like to the away fans and stuff like that, I think Russ would be it up. The thing with Russ is you could rely on the car journey to get you there.
Yeah.
He's got that maturity about him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he loves a bit of banter.
Yeah.
And I think he'd stick it to the away fans as well.
Yeah.
So I'm taking Russ.
Plus, you could just look at that glorious beard the whole trip.
He does love the beard at the moment, doesn't he?
Every week, that beard gets more impressive.
# Bailey's beard.
Bailey's beard, I think, needs a trim now.
Oh, he's calling you out, MB.
I'm not calling him out.
You're calling him out.
Just constructive feedback from someone who obviously has
it's a bit
very limited success in growing a beard.
I am actually on mustard next week, so I shouldn't slag it off too much. But it's a bit fisherman's friend, isn't it?
It's getting that way.
It's very Father Christmas.
But if you can grow it, flaunt it.
Yeah, I mean,
don't think that's a phrase. I'd take Nelson. Just because he's a nut job.
He'd get arrested.
100%, and I'm more than up for bailing him out.
Saying that, Snads would do that as well, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he is the Portuguese Snads. If Snads was up top for us, he would definitely punch a Rotherham centre back.
Good old Snads.
So I'd take Nelson, just for the
next
pure
question.
carnage.
Come on,
Joe Denton, is it better to set the pace early doors or chase teams down from behind in the league table?
That's an interesting question because. Well, Norwich City have never been in, really, we've rarely been in the position where we've been ahead. Under Worthington, we were leading pretty much most of the way, I believe, the season that we went up, and Jury lifted it. God, love that photo of him. He's so young as well.
I love Jury.
I just love Jury. Jury, we still want you on here, by the way.
Yeah,
we have messaged you for dates, but anyway. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, whether we should be behind teams or ahead of teams.
Yeah.
I think Norwich like a bit of... Come on, we'll catch you up.
Yeah, it was
I think with that kind of
Alex
team,
Neil, we went up last
with that
time.
kind of team, we don't like to be arrogant and be ahead. It gives us something to bite into.
I think I'm going to go for the cliche that it is always better to have points on the board, but at the same time, there is nothing better than coming from the dead and just climbing the table. Like when we last went up,
playoffs. Alex Neil, classic.
Neil Adams, 12th on the table. We were like, right, we're done in, and Alex Neil came in and done the job. Josh Beaver, favourite memory as a Norwich fan? Not as in the animal Beaver.
What a name!
Josh Beaver. Beaver? That's a great commentary name.
Beaver. I love that name. Anyway, so sorry, what's the question?
He asked, favourite memory as a Norwich fan?
What, like kind of...
Just anything.
Hilarious or...
Anything. Can have a few if you want.
One of my favourite memories as a kid was we were Sorry, hang on. You do yours first. I'm chewing.
Favourite memory? Well, Wembley was obviously the obvious one. That was an unbelievable day, and I don't think we'll be topped as a Norwich fan. So I kind of peaked a bit early there. Jackson's goal against Derby, utter scenes. Some just general away days, just memories that are kind of like, just will live for you forever.
Yeah.
The police escort through London.
Oh, do you remember that? Yeah.
Just spending time with your mates,
little
isn't it?
things. Yeah, I agree.
It's just nice.
Yeah, for me, actually, my actual favourite memory was, again, a big shout out to Adam Jury, Norwich Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. We were losing. Was it 4-0 we were losing? I'm pretty sure it was 4-0.
Or was it 4-what?
I think it was 4-0, and me and my dad stood up. Dad has had a couple of drinks, and I backed him up because I'm his son.
And
he stood up and went, 5-4, we're gonna win 5-4. And as normal, the moaners in the
I'm not surprised we were 4-0 down.
Anyway, the moaners in the Barclay said, "Shut the fuck up and sit down."
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the Farker up. Sorry, it's the Leo Vegas influence. Sorry,
me.
God, Leo Vegas, unbelievable. We stood up, and anyway, so basically, we're climbing it back. It goes 4-1, 4-2, 4-3. Then the ball drops to Drury, and the crowd almost went from "come on" to just
silence.
You could hear a pin drop, and Drury just drills it in. And honestly, in terms of and I just remember, Paul McVeigh with his blonde Barnet, God knows what was going on with it, flapping in the wind to celebrate. Jury didn't even know how to celebrate, and me and my dad went mental. I took my top off, waving it in the Upper Barclay, and then at the end of the game, a Norwich fan came up, and this is what I think epitomises Norwich City as a club. The guy that told us to shut the Farker up went up to us at the end and went, "You know what? I'm really sorry," and shook our hand. And that was a sweet memory.
Nice
a hilarious one, very quickly, Blackpool. When Blackpool didn't have a proper stadium, they were watching it.
To be fair, I'm not counting their current one as a proper one.
They were watching it from ladders over. It was so tin pot. But basically, because they're by the sea, the wind comes through the stadium.
Yeah.
They took a corner. This is when we had Alan Gow. They took a corner, and the ball flew in from a corner kick. And I just found that absolutely hilarious, even to concede that.
As a kid, yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to that Drury moment, there are very few moments, but I don't think there's anything better than just before you score, it just drops silence because everyone's like, and then that utter elation when the ball hits. There are a few things.
That's what makes you buy a season ticket, isn't it?
Just for them few moments of just. I genuinely don't think there's few things better in life than scoring a big goal and just that split second of utter pandemonium when you don't know what to do with yourself.
Probably one of the latest would be Arsenal against Newcastle.
Angus Gunn's now following you.
Hey!
Cheers, Angus. I don't know which account that is.
Let's check.
Let's do it. Angus, thank you very much. You must have heard our kind words. Definitely can't slag him off.
What a boy.
It's the TNC account. So thank you very much, Angus.
Good. Says it all, doesn't it?
It's nice to have you on board.
Good.
Next question.
Yep.
Fazer Diala, who will be the signing that has the most impact on the side?
I think a lot of people have said it early doors, and I can't disagree. Harrison Reid.
Yeah.
I think he's been really tidy. He's not really made a mistake. He's been the most consistent. I think didn't Rob Butler tweet saying that he was going to be in the England team one day?
Yeah, he did also tweet that about Johnny Howson, and I think Ryan Brent, I think maybe even Bradley Johnson, but I do think Harrison Reid might have it.
Point taken. But, we
love you, Rob.
Old Harry Reid, I really like the look of him. I love the fact he's a ginger ninja as well.
Yeah,
love it.
He is going to be a big player.
We need a chant for him, by the way.
Yeah, we do.
We'll work on that.
In terms of just maybe not on the pitch, but in terms of the club in general, I think Angus is going to have a massive impact. Yeah, just in terms of everything.
Definitely. And I think if we challenge for promotion this season, at the very least, I'm already calling it. I want him here.
Yeah.
I want him here. I want him. I'm sorry, Angus. I know you followed us, mate, but I want you to sign for us. It's your home club. You'll be played every week, and we love you.
And Joe Hart's left Man City now, though, so why would you really want to go back?
Don't know about that. They're a massive club, mate.
Mate, they're not bigger than Norwich. Stephen Smith, what signing are you least excited about?
Husband.
Yeah?
Husband? Next question.
Yeah.
Let's not slag off Husband
No, I'm not
too much.
slagging him off, but I'm not convinced.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of proving to do. Ben Huntley, do we need another signing?
A lot of people have called for defenders. I disagree. I don't think we need defenders. I think we need a forward.
Another striker?
I think we do.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't know, mate. Anything can happen in the last few moments of the window. I think actually the other thing you're looking at is a central defensive midfielder.
Possibly, yeah.
Look,
if Reed goes.
I mean, I'm a massive Tete. I was a massive Tete fan. He was my favourite player. Even I would admit he's tired now. Yeah. He's a substitute now. He's a good squad player now. Naismith can't play in that position effectively. We need a central defensive midfielder.
I think, look, it's very tough because you've got two strikers there who at this level are very good in their own rights. I think we probably do need a third, but if you're going to bring in a third choice striker, you want them to be at a level that will score regular goals in the Championship. Not all three players are going to play every week, which means you're going to upset one of them. It's a very tough balance.
What about a little bit of a wild card? So someone that's just a bit loopy, that's not really with it, that could or couldn't. They might be old. They might be coming to their career. Maybe
Jamie Curitan.
Maybe someone from, you know what?
Dion Dublin, bring him back. Tell you what, Jamie Curitan still bang them in. Absolute baller.
Yeah.
Reece Bish, great names tonight. Best goal you've ever seen at a Norwich game?
Youssef Safri, Newcastle. Howson, Forest. Oh, by the way, another one. Lee Croft, Ipswich. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I think House against Forest is probably the best technically. Tete against Sunderland.
Oh, of course.
And at the time, that
was a huge goal. Yeah, it was a huge goal.
It was good at the time.
I remember Hooper, who, by the way, has absolutely no personality. Sorry, he doesn't. Hooper actually smiled for that goal. Beautiful.
In terms of the best opposition goal, Suarez, the one from the halfway line.
I hate Suarez.
But he
dived again at the weekend, by the way. Not that I'm surprised.
He was an unbelievable player.
I actually think that John Ruddy had a bet. I think I'm going to call it out because Ruddy must have had a bet on Suarez to score 4. Mate, he was horrendous.
It did just get silly in the end.
Suarez was world class. Don't get me wrong, but
there are very few players that I can say in terms of opposition players that I kind of go, yeah, I enjoyed watching him. Suarez was one of them.
You enjoyed watching him cheat, dive, bite.
I've never seen a striker that good at carry. Never.
Aguero, a million times
Suarez, over. In terms of Suarez is better than Aguero at carry. Owen Llewellyn. Will Ipswich ever make the Premier League again?
No. Next question.
No. Yes, they will eventually. I don't think it'll come in our lifetime. You know what? I'm not going to say it. I do feel a little bit sorry for some Ipswich fans. Just because, imagine having Marcus Evans as an owner.
Why do you feel sorry for them?
Because
let them rot with
they've got a decent manager there.
Mate, he is past it.
Mate,
he slags off their fans.
Look,
rightly so.
Just saying, with a good owner, Ipswich could maybe do things.
Yeah, agreed.
And
but we don't want to anyway. Long live
Carl,
McCarthy.
Carl Stewart.
Yeah, good old Carl.
Good old boy. Should Farke dip into the transfer market after the news of Pritchard's injury?
No. Pritchard will come back. Bonus ball. Brilliant.
Yeah, I agree. Ultra Gaming Power. What away day of the newly promoted sides, I should read, are you most looking forward to? So you got Bolton, Millwall or Sheffield United?
I love the Mill.
We're going there.
I love the Mill. We're going to be at the Mill. We're going to be at Villa as well, of course. I just think with Millwall, the whole kind of getting off the train, going through the cage.
Unfortunately, we're driving.
Yeah, no, I know, but I just think the Mill. You know what? I'm going to say it. Millwall's a proper football club. Yes, they've got some pretty horrendous fans, but I think every club has. But I just think Millwall is one of those traditional clubs where you think it's what a cracking day out it is.
Yeah.
And London.
I'm really looking forward to Millwall. I'm really looking forward to Sheffield United. I love Sheffield as a city.
Yeah.
Bolton
is food poisoningville.
Bit tin pot.
Yeah, very tin pot.
Food poisoning.
Horrendous club as well.
Oh, that's a bit harsh. To be fair, I grew up like my prime growing up year of shootout cards was when Bolton had JJ Okocha, Kevin Nolan,
JJ Okocha.
I think they had Kevin Davies, Stelios Yanakopoulos. Mate, I loved getting them
Bolton's
shootout cards. Jack Evans, worst Norwich player you've ever seen.
I actually would quite like, just for a laugh, every single person watching this right now to comment your worst player, just for a laugh, because I think there's been so many you could say. David Strahafka.
Great name, though.
Peter Thorne. There's been some awful. I mean, there's been so many.
There has. In the past, kind of like 5, 6,
John Hartson.
7. Mate, Hartson, what a boy.
He was a big boy. That's what I enjoyed.
I love him.
He was a battering ram.
I love John Hartson.
By the way, everyone that watches this as well, search in Google Hartson Norwich. Honestly, it's hilarious. How on earth was he a footballer?
It was only his latter years.
Mate, he was, honestly, he looked like he'd had too many pizzas from Gravity Norwich.
And I don't blame him, because they're lovely.
They are lovely, to be fair.
Worst Norwich player I've ever seen. Yeah, like, you look at the Strahavkas and sorts, and they were woeful. In terms of recent years, I don't know.
Antoine Sibieski. He's got a shiny head. That's a song.
There's been some howlers down the years, but in terms of like recent sort of 5 to 10 years, that's 5 years, I can't really think of that many. I mean, there's been very average players. I think that's been the problem with Norwich. We haven't been really bad, we haven't been really good, we've just been very average.
Yeah, agreed.
And we've had too many of them players. And Jack Taylor, good old boy. Do you think we'll miss Alexander? Let me rephrase this. Tete, he hasn't been playing. Are we missing him? Reed is good, but lacks physical presence, according to Jack.
Oh, that's what you said already. I don't think he lacks physical presence. I think Reed is very much has got the same ability of Maddison. He can use his body very well, and I think that actually immediately puts players on the back foot straight away because they almost know what he's going to do, so it creates more time and space. Look, I do think Tete should play over Naismith, though, 100%.
In that position?
Yeah, in that position, 100%.
What I would love to see is I'd love to see Reed in his usual position, just in front of the defence, and then a Houlihan. The thing is, though, if you play Wes and Maddison, then you can't fit or a Tete or a Vrancic in, so you're going to have to either find a way.
One thing I have to mention this. I think that we need to utilise. I know Wes isn't fit enough, but I think Wes needs to start every game when he's fit enough. Because
at home
if he can,
and against the QPR type.
No, and actually, you know what? If he was fit, I would have played him against Sunderland because there was such a disconnection, Jack, between the forward line and the midfield. Wes blends it so well, and without Wes, I know Maddison is getting there, but he's not quite ready for it yet. In terms of, I know that's contradicting to what I've said earlier.
They can play together.
Yeah, exactly. They can play together, and I think Wes has to play. He connects them well. I think Wes and Oliveira up front, is lethal.
Yeah, it's a tasty prospect. Let me quickly go through Snapchat because I know there was tons and tons of.
We love Snapchat. Well, Jack loves Snapchat.
Snapchat, mate.
When are you going to do Instagram direct questions, Jack? Because Instagram is a better channel.
I find the Instagram messaging.
Oh, by the way, can every single person listening or watching this now follow at TalkNorwichCity on Instagram? Because we're doing a lot of cool stories on there this season.
Yeah, we are actually. Bloody hell, this is a long question. This is almost a book.
Oh my god! That is a huge. Well played.
Personally, I think the way we're going at the moment is better than before. However, look at the likes of Southampton, West Ham, Watford, Bournemouth and Leicester. They all come up with the same position we've been in. However, look how much they've progressed. First of all, they have a lot more money than us. Which is personally, I think we need new owners. Let's face it, we need the money.
Oh my god. This sparks something. This really sparks something. And this is my moan of the week. I'm going to go back, Jack. I'm angry about this. And I don't care if the guy next to me watches this because I'm up for a fight about it.
Don't fight it.
I'm not going to,
a verbal fight.
A verbal fight. The guy next to me, so we're losing, and he goes, you know what, this is all Delia's fault. All she does is take the top layer off. Every single season, take the top layer off. Take the top layer off. Honestly, he is such a misery to sit next to. Cheer up, mate. Life's too short.
I must admit.
We're losing 1-0. Delia, it's all Delia's fault. Delia has put her blood, soul, life, cooking books, drunken mistakes into this club. Delia has been a legend for Norwich City. Yes, we do need some money, but it's got to be the right person. Don't just go in there and be like, oh, it's Delia's fault. I mean, come on.
I did love his... I was like, well, mate, Rome wasn't built in a day. And he was like, but Rome weren't also built on peanuts, was it?
Oh, my God.
To be fair, I giggled. What I would love to see, get that guy this side and Mick Dennis this side and just have a Delia chat. It would be beautiful.
Yeah,
anyway, Ladham Gurn is the man who sent this. Fair play.
Well done.
Should we get new owners? I think that's a separate video, possibly in the future.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a few more. The part fit says, what name should he get on the back of his shirt this year?
Sorry.
Get... I don't know.
Pinto.
Yeah, cheap as well. Yeah, get Pinto. I agree.
I was going to just mention about the owners. So when we were walking to the ground all singing with the banners in front of us, a brilliant moment for me was, so what happens before the game, if you don't know? I'll win Jones. He kind of sits back, he's kind of standing like this, his owner's flag, just going, like, considering, how the game's going to go, chatting to a few of his associates. And he's gone, and he looked at you like as if to say, what's coming over the hill? What's that coming over the hill? God, they're making a lot of noise. And he waited for the flags to come right up to them, and he put his flag out, and he just started going, like really passionately clapping. I've never seen him move so quick. I love Winnie. Yeah. I love Win Jones. And by the way, shout out to Tales from the City.
Yeah.
His chapter in Tales from the City, or Win Jones, genuinely made me cry.
Did it?
It made me cry. Oh. It was just pure NCFC passion. If you bleed yellow and green, you've got to buy that book.
I just love watching Win Jones just chain smoke before a game. It's literally that one gone, the next one. It's not good for the lungs, but he's had a long and fulfilled life, and he's got many more years left in him. Right, let's get the last question.
Yeah, go. Come on,
Snapchat, find one.
Deliver.
Lots about the transfers.
This, by the way, Gravity Norwich, I have to say, I've really enjoyed. Do you reckon we should do it here every week?
Mate, if we get free pizza.
Free pizza and coffee, sod my flat.
Daniel Turner, having been both at Fulham and yesterday's game, I've been very impressed by the performances of Yannick Vilskut. So if he continues to perform like he has been, do you think Ivo Pinto has a tough job to get his starting place back?
Nah.
Why?
Mate, Pinto bleeds yellow and green.
I just want to see Yannick and Pinto in there, just for utter carnage.
Yeah. Can that work?
Yeah.
But we didn't think Pritchard, Wes... By the way, Pritchard, Wes and Maddison together, right. I honestly don't think I think I'll walk out the stadium. I can't take it. At least you won't be able to take it. It's just too beautiful.
I mean, I think you're going to get a lot of excited texts off me when that occurs.
Yeah,
there's going to be lots
more.
Of happy
I've had a dream, Reeve.
More like
I've had a dream, Revo. At 1:30 in the morning, I've had a dream. We're going to win the league.
Mate, I don't know if we're going to win the league or not. Anyway, that is this week's podcast. There's going to be loads of content this week, mainly because we've got QPR on Wednesday and then Villa on Saturday. We forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting one. So loads of content this week. Stay locked into Talk Norwich City. Do that by subscribing. And there's also like a notification bell. If you hit that, you get notified every time we upload. Check out all of our sponsors down in the description. Without them, it wouldn't be possible.
I have to say, to all of the new sponsors, thank you so much, because it really does make it possible. It makes it a little bit more worthwhile, doesn't it? Everything helps.
Well, a little bit of money. We've got to pay the bills, Chris.
It pays the pizza that we got for free.
It pays your hefty fees.
I've got a big appearance fee, I have to say.
You have. Anyway, massive thanks to you guys for watching. Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you listen on iTunes, make sure you subscribe on there.
One more thing. If you're at Villa, if you're at Millwall, and if you're at QPR this week, I want to hear the Zimmerman chant. Oh, football plug.
Yeah.
One more.
Also,
hello. Sorry to anyone listening on iTunes. You just got battered by the football.
You can win this football. All you've got to do, links in the description. Head over to the Gravity Facebook page and follow the instructions there. It'll probably be like and share it. But current squad, signed football. You probably won't want to kick it, but you can header it.
Yeah. One more plug for Gravity, surely. The
great trampolines.
Seriously,
bouncy.
I know it sounds really weird, but you don't, until you've actually been in here, you don't understand how cool it is. Like, all of the trampolines are interconnected. You can do like flips. They've got trampolines on the walls. Of course I can, mate.
No, you can't. Don't give me that.
Honestly, they've got trampolines on the wall. It's really good. Go check them out. Awesome.
I think if I was like 8, 9, I would have just wanted to live it.
It's awesome, innit? If you're a parent, bring your kid here pre-match, and you go to Wetherspoons and get the beers in.
That's a great idea.
That's
don't leave your kids unsupervised, though.
No, don't do that.
Anyway, Chris,
don't gamble.
See you tomorrow.